Hey guys, in today's video I will be breaking down and discussing one of the most important topics when it comes to designing an exercise program as well as living a healthy lifestyle. It is one of the hardest to follow and it is one of the hardest that people often lack in, and that is your diet, right? Now, before you change your diet, make sure you discuss the options with your primary care physician or your dietitian to ensure that you're making the healthiest choices for you as an individual. But in this video, I will shortly break down some of the most important concepts, keys to keep in mind in order to maximize your results and get the best health possible. All right, guys, if you're watching this video by now, you already know your SMART goals. You know exactly what you're trying to achieve in the fitness and health industry, whether you're trying to grow muscle, lose weight, or just kind of maintain a healthy lifestyle. You want to have that goal right on the top of your mind when you design this program because it's going to make it way more efficient. Remember, it's about working smarter, not harder. So, there is no magic pill, no magic formula that's going to get you to these goals. It's simple, straight as it is. You either have a caloric deficit, a surplus, or you stay in order to reach your goals, right? If you have a caloric deficit or you're bringing in less calories than you're burning, you're going to start taking away from what you have. And that's how you do that weight loss, right? That's how we lose body weight. Now, if we're trying to grow muscle, you need a caloric surplus or more calories than you're burning. You need tools in order to grow that muscle, and if you don't have enough tools, you can work out all you want, but you're not going to allow that muscle the ability to grow the way it needs to. And if you're staying right around the relative calories that you're burning and consuming, that's how you maintain and just ensure that you have a nice healthy diet, and that's how you maximize that maintenance of where you're at and ensure that you're getting the most out of your health. Let's talk about alcohol. Alcohol impedes both fat loss and muscle growth. So if you're drinking consistently, you're going to limit a lot of those goals, right? So save it for a special event if you drink, and of course, drink responsibly, guys. You don't always have to do it, and what you drink is very important, which is why so many people have been drinking more of these White Claws than these sparkling seltzers, because they're not high in carbs like a lot of the beers and stuff are. And again, they're lower calories, 100 calories compared to most beers can even get up to 200, 300 calories for a nice craft brew. So what you drink is also important. Keep that in mind when it also comes to sugary drinks like sodas, like things with high sugar, right? That spikes the insulin, it blocks your fat and creates fat. Not to mention you're at higher risk of diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, all kinds of diseases that are gonna affect your lifestyle. So avoid sugar like it's the plague. And of course, the type of sugar is also another factor. Real sugar is always better than high fructose corn syrup or that artificial sugar. Again, and if you wanna get a low glycemic or an insulin releasing, one of the better ones that's recommended was either honey or coconut sugar. You can add to your coffee, you can add to your teas because they're healthier. You can add a little bit of sweetness without spiking that insulin and causing a lot of those negative health factors. So let's talk a lot about these trendy diets like the keto diet or the Palm Beach diet. Any diet that's gonna have you on a major restriction normally is not a good idea. In fact, most dietitians recommend that the paleo or close to a Mediterranean natural diet is the most healthiest and efficient way to get to your goals, right? And we'll talk about protein in just a minute, but it's better for your health, right? Now there are ways to do good and bad to both, just like, again, you can dirty bulk and you can clean bulk, right? If I'm telling you you need to get 3,000 calories, of course, if you go to Five Guys and eat a massive cheeseburger, it's gonna be easy to get that, right? But if you're eating clean, veggies, fruit, stuff like that, it's gonna take a lot more food intake for you to get towards that goal to reach, right? Now, again, it'll be way healthier if you do that clean version. Both will get you there, but if you do the dirty bulking, a lot of times you'll also bring in more fat instead of that muscle, and you'll do a lot of strain on your arteries and your organs that you don't want as a negative health result. Now, same concept, right? If you're restricting things, right? If you're like keto diet, one of the biggest things people are like, oh, well, now I can eat bacon every day. And technically, you're eating fat, so it's not necessarily wrong. However, look at the health about it. Think about it. That's not healthy at all, right? So a lot of people cut out all the carbs entirely. And majority of places where you get those vitamins and minerals, think about it, fruits and veggies. If you even look at myplate.gov, the government's website, they recommend more than 2/3 of your plate being filled with those fruits and veggies. They're the highest amount of vitamins and minerals that is gonna allow your health to stay high. So when you design these programs to reach those calories, make sure you're not cutting out the health factors in order to get there. You don't want to end up making a negative factor to your health instead. And again, going back to restricting diets, like one of the big ones is Palm Beach or basically a carb restriction diet, right? It's not the carbs, but the type of carbs you should be restricting. Again, those sugary, simple carbs that spike that insulin, that's where that fat gets created. That's where those negative health factors come in. Fruits and veggies and stuff, they're not the ones that are doing that, right? You want to be careful on it because also if you don't have carbs, you're going to limit your body's ability to burn fat. The saying is, fats burn in the fuel of carbs. When you burn off your carbs in glycolysis, you get a byproduct that starts, called acetyl-CoA, that starts your fat burning process. So the more you burn those carbs too in the beginning, the better spark plug you have to also burn those fats, right? Your body needs all three: fats, carbs, and protein. That is probably one of the hardest things for people to reach because most people don't get enough protein. It's harder, it's limited options you have. And again, some people have restrictor diets, whether it's being vegetarian, vegan, whatever it is, it limits your options there, right? And I have no problem with doing some of those options as long as you're doing it correctly. Now, most people recommend about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body mass for protein, or you could think a good number for growing muscle is 1 gram of protein per pound of weight. It's a good kind of average scale to work with there. Now, what are proteins, right? Think most animal-based. Fish, chicken, turkey, beef, pork, you name it, animal-based. Think of the muscle. You're eating the muscle to make it your muscle. It's kind of a simple concept there. But again, vegetarian options. The top two, quinoa and soy, because they have 9 essential amino acids, all 9. That means your body cannot create it. It actually requires it to be brought in. There's 20 total aminos, but 9 of them are essential, meaning you cannot create it. Quinoa and soy, however, be careful with soy. If you have too much soy, it spikes your estrogen levels. Not good in both guys and girls. So be mindful of that intake. Beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, dairy products, yogurt, cheese, stuff like that, all has protein as well. Be careful with dairy. It has high inflammation. Kind of dairy is important, right? Greek yogurt, better than the sugary yogurt. That's just a general example as well, too. Again, and then you can determine if you have dairy intolerances, right? Maybe whey isolate, the derivative of milk proteins that you can use in a supplement, may not be the best protein supplement you want to use. Maybe you want to use a pea plant. Different choices. Now, as far as health factor in proteins, red meats are normally worse than the white meats, the fish, the chicken, the turkey. They're higher free radicals. They cause higher hemocytosine productions, which cut your arteries and then cause thickening of the wall and the plaque, which can lead to heart attack, stroke, arteriosclerosis, all kinds of negative things. Now, it is higher in protein in general per molecule. However, it also comes with the connotation, right? So every now and then, I try to eat some kind of red meat, but I totally stick to my white meats, smaller portions, kind of the paleo idea, smaller animal-based proteins filled with a lot more vegetarian-based options. So this one goes back to those animal-loving protein eaters. Not a problem. I love chicken, absolutely fanatic for it. It is the best protein out there in my opinion. However, there's hearsay for that. Anyhow, when you do eat these proteins, right, your body gives off a byproduct called hemocytosines. And they basically are these microscopic molecules that will cut up your arteries, and then your cholesterol, especially your bad cholesterol known as LDL or low density lipoproteins, will get wedged in between the two artery walls, starting to conclude the artery. And you know this is beginning to occur because your blood pressure starts to spike. Think of it like a garden hose. You put your thumb on top, the hole gets smaller, the pressure shoots out. So now you have a few factors that are going on. Now your heart has to lift weights just to pump your blood, and also that wall of plaque may break off eventually. And if that free floats and goes down the wrong pipe, if it does it in your heart, that's a heart attack. If it does it in your brain, that's a stroke. So that's why it's super important to get your greens, get your veggies, your B6, 12, and folic acid, especially because that helps break down hemocytosines and prevent them from cutting your arteries, as well as it increases your metabolism up to 10%. So you'll have more natural energy. That's why you see like 5-hour energy, and all those are chock full of B vitamins. They're your metabolites. And the reason it's the number one killer, on a side note, is B vitamins like C are water soluble. So they're in your body, in and out of your body every 3 days or so. Versus your fat soluble, they stick to your fat and you can release them when you need to. So as long as you don't have a deficiency of absorption or using them, you shouldn't have much of a problem with the other vitamins as long as you have a decent diet in general. It's the B vitamins and the C vitamins that you have to consistently replenish. Keep in mind, fruits and veggies will always be important. Diet trends are often sold as a shortcut to getting things done. Don't find the shortcut. This is a lifelong battle. Make the time to do your diet right. Talk to your dietitian and primary care physician, and if they have any specifics to your diet and health, listen to them, right? It may be more deep than just trying to grow or lose weight. I hope you guys have enjoyed this discussion. Comment below if you like, hit that subscribe button, and tune in next time.